Feeling better. We're gonna have our own. We could just do that. Can't be, well, Heidi, quick question because I'm technologically at a disadvantage. Will they see me as well as the presentation?
Yes. We're at the top of the screen.
Okay.
I'm probably going to turn my camera off when I turn the floor over to you.
Okay.
Okay. We're just going to give it a few minutes to let some people log on. Hi, Nicole. I see some people I recognize. All right, Howard, I think we should begin. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I first and foremost want to thank you all for being here with us today. We always really appreciate it when you take time out of your day to learn about our partners. So a big thank you. Before we begin, though, I want to remind everyone that throughout the presentation, should there be any time that you have a question, I want to remind you to put it in the Q&A because I'm going to be referring back to it at the end of the presentation. We'll make sure we get all those questions answered for you directly. So today I'm very excited and I'm very happy to introduce you to Howard Gelfand. He is the CEO of Bespoke Air Group. Bespoke Air Group specializes in tailored private aviation solutions, and Howard brings a wealth of knowledge and industry experience across sales and aviation strategy. He's known for a very personalized, no nonsense approach to the process, which makes it nice. He works very closely with clients and agents, and he helps you navigate these complex transactions to deliver a truly customized, seamless outcome for your clients. So, Howard, we're really happy to be here with you today. We're excited to learn more, and I'm going to turn the floor over to you now.
Thank you, Heidi, for the introduction. I hope I live up to the to what you had said. I like to keep it short to the point because I thank you all for taking out a little bit of time out of your day. So, as Heidi said, I do operate in a no-nonsense way. I'm fully transparent in not just cost, but in everything, every aspect of the process of booking a jet. And the whole idea is for you to give me some basic information, and that's it, and keep you out of it as much as I possibly can, which frees up time to obviously work on other trips and other things that you can work on earning dollars while I'm working on it, as well as my sourcing team and my back office. So, with that said, I will go through this little presentation. Um, White glove service. I've had the luxury of flying private many times in my life, and I know firsthand what these types of clients expect and deserve. So on each and every flight, not only do I look to meet their expectations as well as yours, but exceed them, and often we do. Global jet access, domestically, actually, last year we did more trips internationally. But no matter where the destinations are, including very difficult destinations like Bhutan had come up recently, we'll have a jet, and obviously they have to get adjusted for how long of a runway it is and so on and so forth. But that's why you work with someone like myself. Elevated earnings. There are several ways to earn money alongside of us, outside of just booking jets, some of which come with much higher commissions than just the booking of the jet itself. Next page. Josh, next page. Thank you. Why private aviation matters to your brand. Um, a lot of people that are in the luxury or want to get into this market don't even have it offered as a service on their website. But their whole website speaks towards luxury. So I'm a big fan of having it listed on your website as a service that you have access to private jets that automatically elevates your brand. Um, and once you start getting trips and working with us, it elevates your brand, it elevates your client's experience as well as your own, and it certainly elevates your revenue, which is one of my focuses. Nothing makes me happier than sending out big wires to my advisors. Um, Real quick, one advisor had given us a name and a number of one of her clients who had mentioned purchasing a private jet about 3 weeks ago. Well, we sold one for 16.5 million, and her end was high five figures. She didn't believe it. I think I covered everything there. Next, safety without compromise. Everyone we work with is Argus rated and Wyvern certified. Most of them are Argus Platinum. If you ever want to ask me, ask me. But typically, I'll offer it up what level they are. And the same goes for any international companies that I work with. They're ISBAO certified, and we have our own certain protocols in order to work with someone. Um, Next. As I had said, every jet worldwide, anytime. When I say that, literally, I get calls, I get texts, I get emails 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm on it right away. Um, that's the difference. A lot of people say that, but very few deliver on that. If you send me an email at 3 o'clock in the morning, because there's an emergency flight you need at 9 o'clock in the morning. 9 times out of 10, I'll be able to deliver exactly what you're looking for anywhere across the globe. Um, Service second to none. Um, Again, as someone that flew private and flies private many times in my life, I know exactly what these clients expect. And again, there's certain protocols, whether it's domestic or international, where it's a very high-end, personal, white glove service. Again, something that many companies may say, very few deliver. Any issues that you may have or any questions, you have access to your own personal customer liaison. Then there's a director of client relationship. And then I make myself very available. I'm sure if you worked with any other companies like mine, you wouldn't find that. But especially for companies affiliated with Lush, you have direct access to me, and you as well as your clients will have advantages and benefits being affiliated with Lush that you just won't find out there. Um, and when you call, obviously, you're calling my office. You're not being directed to a call center or anything like that. One of the biggest differences between us, which I'm sure it's going through your head, and the pack, as I call them, we are built and follow a relationship driven model. We measure our success based on the relationships we have with you. And often our travel advisors say, you know what, Howard, after working with you, my relationship with my clients even better, which is music to my ears. So, unlike most companies that are operate as a flight factory, treating your clients like just another transaction, um, not like royalty, as I look to treat mine. Their sole focus, because they've been bought out by larger companies, public companies, is trips. How many number of trips? What's their revenue? And it leaves a private jet traveler feeling like just another transaction, just another number. Whereas, we treat them the way they should be. And we're very well aware that you're trusting us with your client, and kind of putting your name on it. So we're simply an extension of your business, and that's how we operate. Multiple revenue streams. I'll follow up with an email, but commissions on the jets, commissions again. My mom didn't teach me much, but she did say you don't know until you ask. And if there's someone you think it's appropriate to bring up purchasing a private jet, you bring it up. Many exclusive luxury experiences. You'll have access to sold out shows, backstage passes, locker room access after a game. We recently had a private barbecue. A client went to a private barbecue at Andrea Bocelli's house where he then gave them a concert. I won't share with you the cost. I don't want anyone to fall off their chair, but these are the types of opportunities, invitation only, things like that. And again, just ask why advisors choose bespoke. I think I've really covered that all. Main thing being, once you give me 8 to 10 pieces of information, I'd like you to go on doing your other business while we handle this. And the minute we have an update, we get back to you. And that's the only time I want you involved. I much prefer you working on your next trip, knowing we're taking care of this one. The reality. The reality is, some of you may have a lot of private jet flyers, some of you may have one or two. Doesn't matter to me. Again, it's about the relationships, the number of trips I do really is not of concern. And most advisors I speak to are currently juggling many companies just to find the least worst option. Why do they have to do that? Because they haven't found one company that they can rely on exclusively, and that's where we step in. We end that cycle of wasting time, cutting into their time to making money and working on new trips. And the average advisor tells us after one or two trips, that's it for them. There's no more juggling. They'll send me the information. They're working with me exclusively, and it takes a lot of pressure and frustration off of them. Next steps, I always recommend a very brief call, usually a 5 minute call, sometimes 10 minutes. You'll be able to clearly see, we'll both be able to clearly see what the potential upside is in working together besides the obvious. And I'll go back to being affiliated with Lush, not only the additional benefits and advantages, but just the priority status that any of your trips that come in may have. They'll be treated as the highest of priority. I will personally get involved. My team will get involved. but a phone call goes a long way. I'm 58, so I'm a little bit old school that I like a phone call and I can address any questions at that point. As I said, I'm fully transparent. So don't be bashful to ask any question that's on your mind. Um, and I think that's the presentation, which is 15 minutes. That's pretty good. I will end with I'll
You have
let you
some
get,
questions, Howard.
yeah, that's what I want to end with. If there's any questions at all, I am open to answer them.
Okay. So, Howard, you mentioned there's like 8 key things that you need, pieces of information from an agent when they approach you with a possible booking. So, what are those 8 things that you need to know uphand when someone is interested in arranging for a jet?
I'll go off the top of my head, although I have a simple Word doc that has it all. The dates of the trip, the destinations, the number of passengers, any preferred aircraft, any particular budget. Have they flown private before? How many passengers? If I said that already, my apologies. A big part of it that many people don't factor in is a ballpark idea of luggage. A lot of these companies have had clients at the jet that they can't fit everything. And then it ends up being a last minute nightmare having to ship their golf clubs via FedEx. So it's very basic information, preferred departure times, and what we'll always do is, even though the suggestion of what airports you may send, we get creative. If we can save money by another airport 10 minutes away, we will offer that, we'll offer some options. And again, Heidi, if you want me to, I can just send you the Word doc and then you can circulate it.
Okay. So, I know some things arise last minute and you can definitely handle that. However, in an ideal situation, how far in advance would you need to get a request?
Um, right now, I'm telling all my advisors the best time to secure a jet is yesterday. And the reason is, and I can send you this also, there has been and there is a ton of major events coming up worldwide where a big percentage of the attendees use private jets. So what happens? Aircraft availability shrinks, costs go up. I've probably booked 25 plus flights all the way out to the winter of 26. Um, and especially for these major events, if you have a client even considering it, to really get ahead of it as much as you can. I've never heard someone complain that they booked too early, but I can tell you I've heard my share of people beating themselves up saying, "Why did I wait this late?"
Sure. Now, Howard, things happen in the world of travel. We know this, right?
We
So,
do.
how do you handle certain issues that arise or things that can complicate things?
I handle them personally and I handle them head on. I would say 90% of what goes on with a private jet trip, I can't control. What I can't control is the weather, the FAA,
Right.
air traffic control. If weather is not allowing jets to take off, there's very little that I can do. So when there's an issue, the one thing I'm a big fan of is keeping my advisors updated as much as they want. I have advisors that want to know when it's wheels up, wheels down, and major issues, if there are any. I have some that want updates, took off, we're 15 minutes in, we're now passing, so on and so forth. And I'll also give them the tail number and the website so they could track it themselves. Just to give you an example of some of the miracles we pull off, yesterday was a return flight from the Super Bowl. If anyone saw the lines and how many private jets there were, it was insane. Our clients landed 10 minutes early from San Francisco to Teterboro Airport in New Jersey. Um, Again, because of our reputation, because of the volume of business, we get um, extra attention, which then trickles over to our advisors.
That's great. So we have Simone asking where she can get some of your rate information. Do you
Um,
have somewhere that you present that, or do you just offer that when the details are submitted?
yeah, I wish there was a way to give rates. Anyone that does give rates doesn't know the business because it's based on all that information, which isn't a lot, 10 pieces of information. And then you will have not just ballpark rates, you'll have exact costs. Typically, I like to come back to an advisor with a couple of options, usually the one that's best suited for the trip and an economical one. And depending on what their client wants, they'll make the decision. But there's no such thing as a rate because passengers, luggage, departure times, destinations, there's too much that goes into it.
There's a lot that goes into that pricing. So, in a situation where a cancellation needs to be made, somebody changed their plans, they're not going to be taking off. What are the terms in a cancellation? Like how far in advance do you need to know?
Uh, when it comes to cancellations, the sooner the better. That's obvious. It depends if we're using a few of our own jets or we're working with one of our, preferred partners. Everyone has a different policy, but I can tell you that domestic flights are much more lenient than international. Um, Round trips are much more lenient than one-way trips in terms of cancellation. And regardless of what the cancellation whatever the cancellation policies are, I'm typically able to maneuver that. Very recently, a client booked a trip for $36,000 for health reasons. They couldn't take it. It was within 24 hours. The cancellation was 100%, which everyone is within 24 hours. I got them back $19,000 just because of knowing them and negotiating with them. So I hope that
Okay, that's
answered
good to
that
know.
question.
Now, Dusty is asking, how many members do you have on your team?
About 25. I
Okay.
have a sourcing team. I have a client relations team. I have a back office, accounting department, accounts payable, accounts receivable. But in total, 25. And the reason for that is smaller is better. Some of these other companies have hundreds, and that's where a private client becomes just a transaction, another number. We are very, I think you said it in the introduction, hands-on, personal, one-on-one. You'll always get a person on the phone, not a call center, not a voicemail. Half of these companies, I don't know, the phone rings and no one picks up. Not the case here. Plus, as a Lush affiliated advisor, you'll have my direct cell, which I hate giving out, but I've made it a habit to give it to anyone who's affiliated with Lush.
Right. Well, we have somebody here asking for your phone number, so we're going to make sure we give it to them as soon as we get off the call.
You got it.
Simone is also asking if you operate out of Atlanta, and the answer is yes.
App,
Anywhere.
absolutely anywhere.
Yep.
You name it. I just hung up the phone with someone who needed a trip from Poland to Sacramento. Um, no problem. So it's really point to point worldwide. And one thing I'd like to add is that I believe in old-fashioned private. Either it's private or it's not. Either you're pregnant or you're not. There's no in between. So when someone comes to us, you get the entire jet, fill it up to the max. Um, no, I have no belief in shared seats or having anyone else on your private jet. It's your private jet. And especially when it comes to business, you want the privacy up there that you have down here. You don't want other ears listening, so it's just true private jets.
Great. Well, Howard, I think we answered all of our questions in the Q&A. I think you gave everyone a good knowledge and understanding of things. Let me just check one more time. I see another question come in. Do you offer empty leg?
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely.
Great.
The only thing I'll say about empty legs is that many people are under the misconception that they're going to save a fortune on an empty leg, and that's not the case. You know, there is some savings, but it's not what they think that it would be. And one last thing popped into my head. In order for all the advisors to make the best use of their time, and for me to make the best use of my time, you really want to find out if they've flown private before. It's a big question because if they have, there's a very good chance that you'll book the trip with them. If they haven't, a lot of people think it's a short walk from flying first class to private, and it's really not. It's a completely different world. And you don't want to spin your wheels just like I don't want to spin mine.
Well, thank you. So, we want to thank you all for being with us today. If you have any other questions, now's the time to put them into the Q&A. I did have somebody ask for Howard's phone number, and no problem. I will definitely have that sent over to you as soon as we get off the phone today. But I also want to remind you all that, Lush is here to connect you. If anything arises, I'm happy to personally connect you. Anyone on the Lush team is always here to personally connect you and or answer any questions that you may have. But I think we're all settled up, Howard. I think we answered everything. So, oh
Great.
wait, one more question.
Yep.
What's the best way to qualify our clients for private?
Ask them if they've flown private previously. That's it. Again, I hate when one of my advisors is wasting their time.
Hmm.
Rather have them work on another trip.
Right.
And the best way to qualify them is have they flown previously. That's not to say they won't book a private trip, but you can then embellish upon that. Oh, you haven't booked previously, um, but what's a ballpark budget? Do you have, do you have some ideas of what private jets run? And so on and so forth. And all your advisors, it's an open invitation. I'm not the type of person that you can only reach out to me if it's about a trip. If you want to help bring in more of this business, if you want to help with any way to build up your private jet um, service that you now offer, uh, they can always reach out to me and just get some advice, some pointers, and that's it. It doesn't have you don't have to reach out to me just when it's about a trip.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. I think we've finished up all the questions today, and definitely, I think you've left people with a breadth of knowledge as far as what you're capable of providing and from a service perspective. So I think we're all set and done with the webinar.
Okay.
And just want to remind everyone, let us know if you need any connection or any assistance, and we're happy to help you.
Thank you all for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Howard.
Heidi,
All
a
right,
pleasure.
we'll talk to you soon.
You got it. Have a good
Take
day.
care.
Bye bye.